My 30-day carnivore trial continues. Good evening. It's Monday evening on Labor Day, September the 7th, 2020, and this day 7 of my carnivore trial, my 30-day carnivore trial, is coming to an end, and just wanted to give you an update. Things are going really well. I'm really enjoying it. To be honest, it's not drastically different from the way I was eating and everything before. A lot of times my plate of food for my evening meal would be like meat and 2 or 3 eggs, and then some vegetables on the plate, maybe a little clump of spinach or a few Brussels sprouts or a few pieces of asparagus or something to that, or some green beans. Never more than one vegetable. I usually just had one vegetable on the plate with my meat and eggs. So now nothing is really all that different. I just don't have that one vegetable on the plate with my meat and eggs, or just my meat. If I have a big steak, I don't really feel the need for the eggs. A lot of times I will smear butter on my steak, even if it's a ribeye, just to up that fat content and make me feel more full. But I was doing that before as well. So I haven't, from a positive or a negative point of view, I haven't really noticed any changes so far, but I am only 7 days into carnivore, and I know I need to give it at least 30 days to give it a fair trial. And I've heard others say you really should do it for about 90 days if you really want to see what it's like. And I may do that. We'll just see. I'm only committing to this 30-day trial, and then we'll see what it's like at the end of that. But so far, I'm very happy with it. It's certainly very easy, because my whole goal is to keep my blood sugar under control, and I know that in order to keep my blood sugar under control, I need to keep my carbohydrates very, very low. And I was successful at doing that before. I always had a goal of keeping it under 20 grams of carbs a day, and that's total carbs, not net carbs. And I did very well with that. This is even easier though, because I don't have to worry about how many carbs are in these veggies I'm having, or nuts. Sometimes at the end of a meal, I might have a few nuts, either macadamias or pecans, and one little square of dark chocolate. So I've knocked out the veggie, I've knocked out the nuts, and knocked out the dark chocolate. So it makes it super easy to be sure that I'm low carb, and I plan to be low carb for the rest of my life. So this may be a very viable option, because it's certainly easy to keep track of your carbs. There's not much chance of going over the 20 grams of carbs a day on this. Now, as far as my blood sugar and my weight and everything, nothing has changed there. I'm still getting the same kind of numbers on my blood sugar and my weight that I got before the 7 days of carnivore. So I haven't really noticed any changes there. But again, it's still early on, just the end of the first week. So I'm going to show you in a few minutes here. I'm going to show you sort of what I've been eating. A week ago, I bought a big thing of hamburger meat and made 11 or 12 hamburger patties and grilled those all up at the same time, along with we had some ham in the fridge, and I sliced that up and threw it on the grill at the same time. And I think we had a few little sausages, like bratwurst or something. I threw those on the grill. Tried to stuff the grill with as many things as I could last Sunday afternoon, and then I can put that in the fridge and use that for lunches throughout the week. Throw a couple of hard-boiled eggs in with a couple of those hamburger patties, or some bacon. That's the other thing. When my wife makes bacon, she usually does 2 packs at a time, and of course we don't eat that all in one sitting. That'll last us for a week, and so for my lunch, I can throw a couple of hard-boiled eggs in there, a couple of strips of bacon, maybe one hamburger patty or one piece of the ham or whatever. Also, my wife made a big lamb roast. We both love lamb. My wife's from Scotland, and they had acreage going right down to the seashore uh, when she was growing up, and they always raised a bunch of sheep, and so lamb was something that she was really used to eating, and I love it too. So she had a week ago she made a lamb roast, and I think I've got some pictures of that. I'll show you that, and and then I did some more cooking today since I had the day off. With it being a holiday, I did a bunch more hamburger patties and had a package of bratwursts in, and put those on the grill. I'll show you a little bit of that. And anyway, it's going great. I'm enjoying it. I haven't found it difficult at all because, like I say, it's not that different from what I was doing before. I just leave off the one veg off of my plate in the evening. Oh, avocado. Probably the hardest thing for me to give up was I love avocados, and so I would occasionally have a half of an avocado, uh, and so I don't do that anymore. I'm still doing intermittent fasting. That was honestly the most powerful thing I did in my whole journey to health was intermittent fasting, and I still do that. For the longest time in my journey, I was doing one meal a day. I now do 2 meals a day, but they're in a fairly short eating window of 3 to 4 hours. I wait until 4 o'clock in the afternoon or so to have my first meal of the day, and then by 7:30 or so, I'm finished eating for the day, and so I can get 2 meals in, but in a very short eating window. And in the morning, I'm just having like black coffee and water throughout the morning until I have that first meal around 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And so anyway, I'm still doing that pattern, but I'm just doing it with all meat, eggs, and I've had a little bit of cheese during this so far. And I am still doing coffee. I know some carnivores who are real purists won't even have coffee because coffee beans are a plant or whatever, but I haven't been that strict with it yet. Perhaps if I go beyond 30 days, I'll give up coffee. That's going to be really hard because I love my coffee in the morning. Probably a lot of that's psychological, but I might try that if I do well with this first 30 days. I might give up coffee for the second round. I'm going to need to taper off of it. I don't want the headaches that go along from coming off of coffee. And so anyway, let me show you some video of the food that I've had. It's no big surprises. It's a lot of meat and eggs basically, but here it comes. Here's the 2 packs of bacon that we like to make once a week.
So all you need to do is get your olive oil and then you smear it all over your lamb. I already did put some olive oil at the bottom of the pan so the meat doesn't stick to it. And then I went and got this I have in kosher salt. It's a little coarse, just more grainier. So this is what I'm putting on. You can put whatever seasoning you want. A lot of people like to put garlic and rosemary and all kinds of things on there. I just like the taste of the lamb. So right now I'm the oven is actually up at 400 degrees, and that's because I am going to leave it just like this with no lid for now. And I'm going to put it in the oven again for 400 degrees for just 10 minutes. That will sear the meat and it'll seal all the juices in the meat. I just took the leg of lamb out of the oven. Again, it started out at 400 degrees without a cover to sear it for 10 minutes. Then you put the cover on, and I put the oven down to 320, and it's been in there for an hour and 40 minutes. I just cut into it. It looks nice and just juicy. It's, not overly done, but just the way we like it. Every oven is going to vary some, and the size. Make sure you keep track of how big the leg of lamb is and how long to cook it.
This is the ground beef I like. Notice it's 27% fat, the fattest ground beef I could find. I did a big pack like this 1 week ago and then did it again today along with some bratwurst. And you can see I just sliced it up and made patties pretty easily just by slicing that big roll up. Then I went out to our gas grill and grilled up all these burgers. That made 11 burgers, and then the 4 sausages, the 4 bratwurst, and then I'll used all those for lunches throughout the week, and put hard-boiled eggs with it, and makes for a nice carnivore lunch. And we like to do this. We like to cook a lot of things ahead. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you. And also, as with all of my videos, nothing here is intended to be medical advice. I'm just simply telling my own story of improving my health, but you need to work with your own physician. Thank you.